salutations, my beautiful people. I'm Caddicarus, and
I play video games!
And if you're watching this video, you do. And if your grandma is watching this video, she's probably doing it out of obligation. And if she is watching, she should stop, because I do say a lot of fucks and But anyway, yeah, I play a fair amount of video games, and occasionally, only rarely, I will play a game which I will really fucking like, and no one else does. Whatever the case may be, friends hating it, critics hating it, fans of the franchise hating it, for whatever reason, I always feel like I'm the only one that likes a game. And here are 10 of them. Just so that we're clear here, this is not a list of underrated games, because in some cases of this list, some of these games aren't actually that good. And if ever I bring critic reviews into this, I'm not defending critic reviews at all, I'm just using them to back up my points. So yeah, I just think that I like these games and I can't find anyone else that does. So, you know, don't hate me, I can't help what I like. Also, I'm gonna order this top 10 based on how controversial it may be in terms of the scale of,
oh my god, how could you like that piece of shit?
that some people may say. And obviously, one game per franchise, and kiss my feet. Okay, number 10 may be considered pretty fucking good, actually. It wasn't really that fair to start with this, was it? But like it or lump it, here's the thing. Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops is a PSP exclusive, much like Peace Walker used to be before the HD remakes, and it's a canonical game to the Metal Gear Solid saga, taking place after MGS3 and before Peace Walker. But despite tons of critical acclaim and pushing the PSP hardware to its fucking limits, nobody that I know that are fans of Metal Gear Solid seem to even remember it. Where is it in the HD remakes, you fools? Personally, I love this game, and in terms of it being portable Metal Gear Solid, it blew my mind before I even played it. And when I did play it, I loved the soundtrack, the visuals, the gameplay, the story, and this great new mechanic of kidnapping anyone and everyone to recruit them to Big Boss's newest scheme that grows into the events of Peace Walker and beyond. Maybe I'm completely wrong and tons of you love this game as much as I do, but unfortunately, let's face facts, no one on any of my Metal Gear Solid videos even mentions it. Why? I don't know. Perhaps it faded into obscurity, or perhaps people just didn't like it and I'm the only one that bloody does. Number 9 is a weird one. We're on the PS1 again.
Because who saw that coming, eh?
And this is a movie licensed game.
Because who saw that coming?
Oh wait, I've only done 3 movie licensed games. Anyway, this is A Bug's Life, the video game. The PS1 version to be exact, because I understand that all the ports of this game differ a lot, and in my opinion, this is the better port by a long way. But regardless, look at this! Look at these reviews! Look at them! I don't understand that myself. I personally found this game to be completely harmless. It was bouncy, vibrant, with good level design for the most part, decent control, not great bosses to be fair, but with a solid atmosphere and great visuals. You really do feel like a stupid little ant embarking on a collectathon quest whilst battling those higher up the food chain. Maybe I'm blinded by my childhood here, but seriously? Come on guys, I thought this game wasn't that bad at all. Oh, and easily, without a doubt, the soundtrack for this game is fucking brilliant. I use it a lot in my videos. It's just great. That's it, thank you very much. Number 8 was one that honestly confused me. This was the first Wii game that I ever played, and not to mention the first Paper Mario game that I ever played. And after I sang this game's praises everywhere to everybody, no one that I said it to seemed to agree with me. I haven't played any of the others, to be fair, except from that fucking sticky stick of the sticker. But I do understand that this game was a bit of a departure from the original games, instead focusing more on platforming, puzzles, and action, with RPG elements and stats and upgrades kind of sprinkled in.
Which I adore!
I love it! I love all of it! The humor, the characters, the control, the platforming, the great music, the abilities and upgrades, the areas you explore, the puzzles, and those visuals are masterful. I had never played a game quite like this before until Super Paper Mario, and I put so many hours into it, it drove my stepdad crazy. I love the flip abilities as well, and I love this game! And so did many other critics. But, however, so many people I've spoken to didn't like it at all because of, I don't know. Maybe it's my obsession with Tombi-styled games and
2.5D! That joke is old now, shut up!
Or maybe I'm just insane. Who knows? Who cares? Let's just have some good old innovative Nintendo fun. I can imagine number 7 may piss off a lot of people, but honestly, I really like Spyro A Hero's Tale. And after the complete misstep of Enter the Dragonfly, I figured that Spyro would only go right downhill. Granted, I'm not a fan of any of the Legends games, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Skylanders. I mean, who wants a purple pug with wings and scales as their protagonist? But in terms of the next generation of Spyro games not made by Insomniac, I really bloomin' well like this game. Granted, I didn't love it, I mean, they completely fucked over Sergeant Bird for definite, but this game was a blast in my opinion. What I really really love is that it tried to escape from the typical Spyro hub worlds and level selection with portals, and gems were now used as currency for items to further advance the story and discover secrets in the gorgeous and entirely open world environments. It took a very Jak and Daxter approach to the whole Spyro formula, and I for one loved how they did it. The controls and level design were also fucking joyfully ace, and I thought that it captured the purest essence of childlike wonder and exploration that Spyro should have taken on his departure to the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox generation. He may have dive-bombed into the sea, but then he shot up again to glory. And then he kind of got confused and smacked into a tree. Number 6. Who remembers this beauty? I can't defend my liking for these games. I really can't. But, I mean, it's a generation before the Kinect, and it's better. There, I said it. The IToyed Games on PS2, specifically the original trilogy of stupid minigames, are a guilty pleasure for me. And in case you missed this bandwagon, they are all motion-censored minigames, to be precise. Sounds lame? Nah. I played these for hours as a kid, and I have absolutely no idea why. Everything about these games and the IToy device itself is so silly, yet so fucking clever. It's hard to pinpoint, really. The games and minigames are primitively simple, yet provide tons of really hilarious multiplayer. The concepts are great enough for anyone at all to join in, and I mean anyone. It's literally a stand-in, fuck around and have fun series of games, which requires no real mastery or even any serious learning. And even the critics seem to agree on that front, kind of. You look like a dumbass doing it, you appear on the TV screen within the game itself, the games work around your body as if it is on screen, and believe it or not, it actually works. And it still works perfectly today, it's unbelievable. And personally, if you ask me, this shit's all over the Kinect, and it predated it by nearly 7 years. What's not to like? Over how lame it actually is and how everyone has told me that I shouldn't like them at all? Why can't people just have fun anymore? Number 5 is Wind Waker. I loved Wind Waker. Why didn't anybody else? Look at it. It's adorable, it's harmless, it's adventurous, and it's awesome. Lighten up, people. Sailing is fucking awesome. Treasure hunting is fucking awesome. The soundtrack is fucking awesome. It's fucking Zelda, guys. On the water. Am I really alone with this one? Why am I even justifying myself? Number 4 is definitely one that I didn't see many people liking. Well, most people didn't see liking. And I can kind of see where they're coming from, but goddamn guys, you play a big daddy with a drill. Is this too similar to Bioshock 1? Yes. Is the plot a lot less philosophical and clever? Yes. Is it a lot of combat, repetitive defense missions, running around through linear goals and not much else? Yes, it is. But I liked it. A fucking fair bit. I can honestly look past all of the things that people have criticized about it, because as far as I was concerned, by this point, I was playing a first-person shooter as a big daddy. I knew that there'd be a lot of fighting, and I knew that the plot would be a bit simpler. I mean, how exactly could you top the first one? Well, by the third one, to be fair, but that was something that could have never have worked in Rapture. The first one had covered more or less everything to do with the universe of Rapture, so expecting something else bigger than one's twist to come out of the same scale in time in the same area would be far too risky and difficult. And so, 2K Games didn't do that. They didn't try to do that, and it works all the better for the story and therefore the game itself. And I have no problem with it at all. And I really did still love playing through the game. Rapture was still as gorgeous and as twisted as ever, the atmosphere was still oppressive and tense, and not to mention the characters you meet and interact with all had really interesting backstories, and I will always love Sophia Lamb because honestly, I thought she was pretty fucking creepy. And the way that her side of the story brings into the politics of Rapture and Andrew Ryan and the battles, and I thought it was really fucking interesting. And for me, the very, very ending was just a little bit more satisfying overall. And those big sisters can fucking fanny themselves for all I care.
I don't like them.
But that's why I liked it, because I do know that loads of people didn't. And that's it, I guess. Oh, and critics loved it too. But when were they ever right? Number 3. Why won't I ever review this game? Because I like it and no one else I've ever spoken to does. Condemn me to hell, why don't you? Wrath of Cortex was the first PS2 game that I ever played and I loved it. Well, not loved, but liked? Certainly. It was exactly what I expected a PS2 Crash game to be, and even though Naughty Dog had graciously moved on, I had no major problems with Wrath of Cortex. Traveler's Tales had lovingly kept the same art style as the previous games, Crash and Company still looked like their PS1 counterparts, the visuals were actually really damn great, the soundtrack is bloody fantastic, fantastic, and it was more or less an updated and different version over my favorite Crash installment, Crash 3 Warped. Where people say this is too similar to that game, yeah, I get ya. And for Crash standards, the boss battles are pretty lame, and the difficulty spikes are pretty huge and everything, but if you step back and see what it actually is, it's good, recognizable, and familiar fun. It played it safe and didn't make any major departures, but again, that can be seen negatively, so I do get why I may be alone with this one. But guys, Mark Hamill and R. Lee fucking Ermey are in this game. Oh, and Thomas F. Wilson. Come on.
Crash Bandicoot, you've got some nerve setting foot into my domain without an invitation.
Other than that, it did what the other sequels did. It kept the formula similar, but just added a little bit more vehicles, challenges, and power-ups. And playing as Coco actually running around, that was pretty cool. It was everything that I expected, and it did it.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Number 2. I'm so sorry. Why do I even like this game? Well, okay, take yourself back 7 years ago to the mind of a 12-year-old child. Me, to be more exact. I had heard about this hoverboard racing game starring Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, and I was really excited. After seeing the possibilities with hoverboards in Airblade for the PS2, I was stoked. I saved up all of my pocket money, and then when it got to the last pound that I needed, I was on holiday in Wales. I think it was Wales anyway. It was really sunny and awesome part of Wales. Anyway, we went shopping one day, and there it was, sitting there, looking awesome. Day of release. I had the money and then I bought it. And then for a week or two, I was more or less stuck with it on holiday. Initially, I hated it. The controls were balls, it made no sense, the learning curve was too steep, and there was nothing about it that I liked in terms of racing games, or Sonic games for that matter. It was just a stressful and overly complicated waste of time. And why would a supersonic hedgehog run at light speed when he can just stand on a fucking skateboard? But then, I got better at the game. I couldn't let this childish-looking Sonic game defeat me, so I pressed on. Eventually, after intense and intensive practice, I honed my skills and I kicked ass. And from then on, I grew attached. And then and now, I really fucking like this game. After I got the learning curve down, I just really fucking enjoyed it. Look at the hours I put into it. I loved this game like a son. I then appreciated the Mario Kart-esque level designs, the character-specific shortcuts, the tenseness of keeping your board full of air, and everything else in between. Mastering this fine art of weird hoverboard racing controls was ungodly satisfying, even more satisfying than the backwards and hilarious plot that modern Sonic games are infamous for. And let's not forget the Tails Babylon rants of 2006.
Babylon, 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 Babylon.
Do I play it religiously today? No. But do I like it? Yes. Did anyone else like it? No. Can I see why? Yes. Please, don't kill me for this, guys. But you know what? Yes, I liked Resident Evil 5. And you can all sharpen your pitchforks and storm the fucking house down, but here's the thing.
You don't know where I live.
No one else in the world liked this game. Why? I don't actually know. Well, actually, that's a big fucking lie. I know exactly why people didn't. I may be biased because this was actually the first Resi game that I ever truly played and finished through, and I was about 14 when I did. But then after I got the balls to tackle Resi 1, which was just on the shelf for years because I was too scared to go near it, I then got my job 2 years later, earned a little bit of money, and then I sought after all the other ones, Resi 2, Resi 3, Code Veronica, and then Resi 4. Yeah, then all the hate became clear. Resi 5 is a watered down to fuck Resi 4 with a stupid AI companion that constantly wastes all of your and her supplies and gives you tons of game overs, no sense of vulnerability and loneliness, no tragedy, outright copied segments from Resi 4, and no majorly memorable moments. And I'm not defending this game for a second or calling anyone a dickhead idiot for not liking it, because I understand entirely why. I'm just sharing my personal guilt. As a huge fan of the preceding Resi games, I should hate this, but I don't. I personally loved the way it looked. I loved the African Sahara setting and the disgusting atmosphere. I loved the ridiculous plot like in the other games. I loved seeing the steroid-infused Chris Redfield return. I loved seeing the all-of-a-sudden British and positively evil Albert fucking Wesker come back. Granted, at that time I hadn't played Resi 4, and looking back, I can see exactly why people were pissed off. And to be honest, I'm a little bit pissed off that Capcom did something like this after Resi 4. But honestly, even with that being the case, and even after me preferring the original trilogy on PS2, PS1 for Resident Evil, I still like it. The controls were the same classic Resi, the action in my opinion was great, and it still had some teeny tiny elements of survival horror even though nowhere near as unsettling or well placed as Resi 4. Where things truly fuck up is Resi 6, and that video I did of it is hideously outdated. 3.5 stars? 7 out of 10? What was I thinking? I was
Fucking mad!
That game is worth a 2.5 stars or 3 stars at best. Oh, and anyway, you also get to play Resi 5 multiplayer as well, which is always a good laugh. Just ignore the Resident Evil tag and the weird direction that the series took, and look at this objectively. As a game, I found it a blast regardless. And that's kind of it really. No one seems to agree with me. Resident Evil 5. I know, a slap in the face. But for me, a slap in the face with a bit of steak. It hurts, but ah well, brush it off and it tastes nice, I guess. And there you have it, my top 10 games that I liked but no one else did. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it all, and I'm pretty sure that all of you guys have some games that you felt completely alone with liking, so please leave a comment and share your personal picks. And until next time, if it's your birthday today or watching this video, then happy freaking birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.